What's going on, Canes fans? Welcome to Walking and Venting with Coop, episode number 13, the final walking and venting of the regular season. If you're new here, the series is literally exactly what it sounds like. It's me walking along the edge of my property while we vent about a hot, debatable, controversial, oftentimes negative topic when it comes to the Miami Hurricanes. And that's because we don't shy away from the tough topics here on this channel. I love talking about these things. Now, quick disclaimer, it's absolutely freezing out here in East Tennessee at the moment. And I would say that means I'm going to keep this relatively brief, but we all know better than that if you're watching a video on Coop's channel. And what I want to talk about today is the fact that I do not believe the Miami Hurricanes have a starting quarterback for the 2024 season on the roster right now. Now, I realize the very first initial thing is going to be Coop, Emory, a.k.a. Hemmery Williams. Hold your horses here for a second. None of this is hate or shade at any player on this roster, because we're going to dive deep. We're going to talk about who I think hits the transfer portal. We're going to talk about the possibility of bringing some guys in. It is never hate. It's all constructive criticism, and it is all out of love for the Miami Hurricanes and wanting what's best for this team, because, bro, we need to win. So that's what we got to do. It's a business, and some business decisions are going to have to be made, and that means setting emotions to the side. All these guys are family, but let's keep it real. So let's talk about it. We'll go ahead and get Emory out of the way. Emory Williams is staying a Miami Hurricane. I firmly believe he will be here next year. I don't think anyone's even debating that. I don't think he starts, however, and there's a couple of reasons why, which we'll dive into here in just a moment. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room here. Tyler Van Dyke and Ja'Carri Brown. I need you to know that I'm stating none of this is fact. This is all hypothetical, Coop's personal opinion. Got to make a lot of assumptions here, but I love talking about this quarterback room. There are two scenarios that I see playing out. I brought notes. Number one, and the most likely in my opinion, is that Tyler Van Dyke hits the transfer portal and Ja'Carri Brown hits the transfer portal. I'm talking our two most experienced quarterbacks on the roster leave to go play for another program. Option number two, which I still believe could happen, and this is the one that I think kind of might freak some people out. Tyler Van Dyke stays another year, and Ja'Carri Brown still hits the transfer portal. So as you can see, I think Ja'Carri Brown hits the transfer portal no matter what. I'm not saying that I want that to happen. I'm just saying that is what I believe happens. And before you jump down and say, Coop, you're just jumping on the bandwagon with everyone else saying they think Ja'Carri leaves, I've been saying I think that Ja'Carri Brown leaves since the third or fourth week of the season. In my opinion, yes, I know. He approached the coaching staff. He wants the red shirt. I still think he wants the red shirt so he can leave and go play for another team. And I think it was very telling when he got no playtime this season, not even in garbage time, especially towards the tail end of the season, right? Like against Boston College, why did we not see Ja'Carri? He's warming up on the sideline. Coop, he's suited up. He's ready to go. You got to go through the motions. You got to play the part. He was QB number 2 going into Boston College because we literally didn't have anyone else other than Tyler. So if he was, had to be thrust into the game, then he probably would have. But otherwise, I feel like it's a, coach, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'll do my part. I'll try to help at practice and whatnot and hype the guys up. But then at the end of the season, I'm out of here. And the transfer portal's not open yet. It opens Monday, December 4th, I believe. So anyways, in my opinion, let's roll with what my opinion is, which is that Ja'Carri's leaving no matter what. So the first scenario here, both of them leave. Tyler and Ja'Carri both leave. Miami needs to get a one-and-done experienced quarterback out of the transfer portal. And the only reason why I say one-and-done is because I want a guy that has been producing. I'm talking a guy that we have seen results from with another team that can come in, has experience, is a baller and a playmaker, and he starts. And then actually we bring in a second transfer portal guy, hear me out, who's more of a developmental guy, somebody that, we want to bring in and develop and keep him here for a while, who already, though, has 1 or 2 years experience under his belt, and he can battle it out with Emory. So that would give us an experienced one-and-done transfer portal guy, another developmental transfer portal quarterback with at least 1-2 years experience, Emory Williams, and Judd, assuming that Judd does put pen to paper for the 2024 class. Because right now, that's the only quarterback that we've got coming in 2024. I think that is probably the game plan, and I think that's what Miami's approach is. But hear me out for a second. What if Tyler Van Dyke does want to stay? I realize he's received a lot of criticism this year. He did have to battle some injuries. It would give him a second consistent year with the same offensive coordinator, which he's not had the luxury of. And if he returns, he knows he is QB number 1. Now, I realize you guys aren't going to like that when I say it, but let's look at the reality of the situation here. If he stays, Mario will play him. They're going to say, hey, you battled some injuries, you were tough, you pushed. Here at the tail end of the season, you weren't throwing interceptions, you looked a lot more comfortable. He would be QB number 1. And this is why I want to say, for that reason, and not that reason alone, but for that reason, I do think it's in the best interest of both parties for Tyler Van Dyke and Miami to part ways. I don't think it would be healthy for him to stay mentally because, again, he's lost the fan base. Tyler Van Dyke will not win over the fans. And even if he doesn't have social media and he doesn't check Twitter and he doesn't see any of the messages, he still feels the heat. He does. He knows it's out there. And then also, if he's not challenged, if he's guaranteed the starting spot, which he would have to honestly even have anyways if he's going to stay, because it's your final chance to pad your stats for the NFL. So he's not going to stay to just ride the bench if Miami's going to bring in a one-and-done transfer portal guy who's going to jump him. That would be stupid on Tyler's part. But I said before that I believe he was coddled a little bit too much at Miami, and he didn't have anybody on his booty that could come up and take his spot. So it was his job, no matter what, pretty much, unless he just literally couldn't trot out there and play. And I think that's bad for him. I think it would make it a rough transition going to the NFL, and he doesn't play his best. So with that being said, I do think it's best for us to part ways with Tyler. Now, it does put Miami in an interesting spot, though, because let's talk about this. I'm not trying to be negative. It's not a guarantee that we bring in a transfer portal guy and it even works. This will be a guy who's never played in Dawson's system before, and it's not guaranteed to click. So, there's a huge unknown there, which is why I'm not sure with this coaching staff. I don't think that they're going to try to push Tyler away. I think they would rather keep him because they know what they're getting with him. And I know everyone's going to say, yeah, Coop, they know what they're getting, an interception machine. Trust me, I understand. But they know his tendencies. They know his play style. They know what he is capable of. So I do believe the coaching staff would try absolutely to get him to stay. But again, I think it would be the wrong move for him. I really do. So in my personal opinion, my prediction is that Tyler leaves, Jakari leaves, we get the 2 transfer portal QBs, Emory and Judd. And I do think that that's the route that we take. There are going to be several really good options in the portal. I made notes about that, but I really don't want to dive too deep into the transfer portal quarterback talk just because the portal's not actually open yet. There are a few guys that have already said, yo, I'm going to be in the portal. And that would be guys like Will Rogers from Mississippi State, who has the second most passing yards in SEC history. I know that people are a big fan of him. I know that at one point he had a background in an air raid offense, which isn't quite what Miami does, but of course you hear air raid and everyone gets all excited. Michael Pratt, the Tulane quarterback, he played high school ball at Deerfield, so he has ties to, the state of Florida, and that means there is a, potential possibility there. And Connor Wigman, Texas A&M. There are going to be a lot of opportunities to bring in guys because of the coaching turnover. With Jimbo getting canned and you bring in someone new. Anytime there's going to be coaches fired, there's always going to be players that are unhappy or, jump ship to go somewhere else to get a fresh start. Maybe they don't like the idea of bringing another guy in, or they see it as an opportunity to take advantage of that. Explore other options and all that good stuff. And Miami will be in a good position when it comes to the transfer portal. With the Canes Collective firing up in the realm of NIL, Miami's fine. There are plenty of people ready and willing to write the checks. Trust me, that is not a problem. So we can compete in that aspect. But there are some scary scenarios, bro. There are, because there's a reason why there's a saying, be careful what you wish for. And even though I also believe that Tyler needs a change of scenery, even though I do believe that Jakari redshirted because he intends to leave, and there are a lot of fans that also say, you know what, Jakari's not a fit for this. He has accuracy issues still. I don't want to see him here at Miami. We could be in a very scary position because, again, let me just say this. There's no guarantees in the transfer portal. So I don't think this would happen, but let me give you a scenario. Miami can't find that perfect transfer portal QB. We offer guys. We try to write the checks. They don't want to come to Miami. They don't want to play under Dawson's offense. They don't like Mario. The weight could be too much on their shoulders to come to Miami. With that being said, who do we have? We have Emory, who, like I already said, I like, but that's also unknown. Emory's played in 2 games, and even though he beat Clemson, and even though we were hanging with Florida State, his numbers weren't out of this world. I like him, but we don't know how good he's going to be or not good. We have no idea. Judd is another guy that, he loves the Miami Hurricanes, and that's important to bring guys in like that. I think he's like 6'6", pretty solid guy. He's a 3-star, and he's okay. He looks okay. Who else would we have? We would have some practice squad guys who I bet you can't even name. And if I give you their names, you wouldn't recognize it. And that is no shade at those guys either. They play a very important role. But we also need somebody who's going to march out there in 2024 opening game against the Florida Gators and take care of business. It is a very touchy, somewhat scary situation. Mario already admitted he believes there's going to be a lot of turnover with this roster. And it's not just Miami. It's college football programs around the country, because you might even be happy, but there might be NIL opportunities that come knocking. And that's another big reason why I think Tyler might leave, because the Alabama story about them, potentially reaching out, speaking with Tyler or Tyler's, agent, all that good stuff. There was a reason why that was talked about. When I made that video, so many people said, Coop, stop spreading false rumors. They came out and said there was no interest. People are crazy. Okay. If there were other opportunities for me, I would at least hear them out. Wouldn't you? If another job came calling and they were offering some big time money, you're telling me you wouldn't at least hear it out? I don't care about tampering and, well, the rules say this and the rules say that. Have you been watching college football at all? These things happen all the time. So what I'm getting at is I do believe Tyler has flirted with it, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. And given that did happen, I think he's gone. I think he's gone. I really think that's the scenario, but I want to know what you guys think. If you want to bash people, you can, but I'm trying to not turn it into a bash fest. But you can, like, be honest. You can be like, yo, I do not want Tyler within 500 miles of this football program ever again. You can say that if you want. I like Emory, but I don't think that he'll be starting in 2024. If Jakari stays, I don't think he would start unless it's Emory, Jakari, and Judd. If we bring in any transfer portal guy, I believe the intent is for him to start. I really do. And there's no world where Tyler Van Dyke and Jakari both stay, because if Tyler stays, he's QB1. He's starting. Period. Mark my words. If Tyler stays, he's starting, because there'd be no other scenario that makes sense. With that being said, why in the world would Jakari stay? Because there are plenty of other Power 5 programs Jakari could go play for. Because I like the guy. He's got potential. Oozes athleticism. There are plenty of other programs he could go play for. That's what I think happens. I really thought that I had more to say, but I guess that's it. I really guess that's it. It didn't feel like venting very much. I wanted to discuss the hot topic, which is quarterbacks. And the reason why I really wanted to talk about it is because Tyler played pretty well the final 2 regular season games. It might be a little telling if he does decide to sit out the bowl game, because then what happens? We don't even have anybody. If Jakari is leaving, and that's why Jakari didn't play, he won't want to play the bowl game either, because who would want to come out and get hurt in the bowl game? We don't have anybody other than we march out, who are some of those other guys I was talking about? Luna or Angelo Jr. or Borchers. So I don't know, man. But I kind of feel like Tyler was maybe auditioning for his new team a bit. Maybe. But more so than that, and I'm going to try to bring this thing to a close. The reason why I think Tyler played better those last 2 games, because some people got their hopes up. Some people said, well, whoa, Tyler's healed up a little bit. He's getting his confidence back. Maybe I do want to see him next year. I'm still going to say no to that, and here's why. I think that Tyler was playing more free because he already knows he's leaving. Think about it. The weight of those expectations on him with all the hate he had received and the negativity, we already talked about it. It ruined him mentally. He had PTSD from last season under Gaddis. He started throwing a couple picks, plus you factor in injuries, and his mental game was shot. Tyler probably made the decision, this full-on assumption, hey, okay, you know what, I'm going to explore my options, I'm probably going to leave. And he came out there and he played free. If he screws up and he messes up, it was just going to be more of the same. We were already used to it. That's what he had been doing. But he said, you know what, I'll go out there and I'll just sling it. I'll just have some fun for these last couple games. And that's what he did. I don't think that you can recapture that and continue that next season. I just don't think you can, which is why I think there's no future with Tyler. Tyler, as I said, will not take Miami to a national championship. And it takes more than just him. I get it. I'm just saying. It'll be a little scary because it'll be unknown also. It'll be another new OC, new surrounding cast. But I think it does nothing but hurt him and Miami if he stays here. Unless worst case scenario happens for us and we can't get a transfer portal guy, then, whoa boy, then we're in trouble. We're going to have to be better at recruiting the quarterback position in the future. Like we are. We also, have to be better at developing it. But we need some dogs in here, bro. We need some ballers. You guys know how I feel about it. And I better stop because I'll just go and go. That's what we need out of the transfer portal. Emory's got that mentality and that attitude, and I like it. But still just a little too young to get us where we need to be now so we can jumpstart this thing. We need a one and done, big time, vocal baller of a quarterback out of the transfer portal. And 2024 could be pretty exciting. It really could be. Let me know what you think this quarterback room looks like in 2024. You can either just give your opinion on what you want it to be, or you can make an educated guess on what you think it will be. You can give me reality versus what you actually hope. Tell me what you think. You already heard mine. I already laid it out there. TVD and Jakari leave. We bring in 2 transfer portal quarterbacks. We have Emory and Judd. Those are our 4 main big-time quarterbacks that we have here. That's very firmly what I believe happens. But I could be wrong. Very well could be. There are plenty of other things we could talk about. Usually in the final Walking and Venting, I do like a final breakdown of the season. Like, did Mario screw up? Was it a failure? And we dive deep into that. But I'm thinking about doing a live stream instead. So keep an eye out this week. The live streams aren't going away. We're going to grade each position group, the coaching staff. We're going to do a lot of stuff. I just thought it was fitting to close with talking about the quarterbacks because I wanted to get it off my chest with how I feel about it. And like I said, I'm just going to be blunt. I hope Tyler leaves, and honestly, I think it's best for Jakari to leave. But I hope and pray that these coaches know how to get us a transfer portal QB. I hope they do, because then I'm going to be eating those words and we're going to be hurting. We're going to see. Don't be shy. Let me know what you guys think. Man, it's so dang cold out here. Remember though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I gotta say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out. I'll see y'all in the next one.